Hello. Some people may say communication is key in a way that is correct, but in some ways, it really depends. Let me give you an example. Let's say someone has been through something very traumatic, and if you have been traumatized in certain ways, perhaps in some ways the way you behave and the way you think may not be very good. Like you may take things in a very extreme way when it is not called for. So let's say if you were to get in an argument with someone like that, and let's say that you see that person getting very, very angry and on the verge of shouting. Should you continue communicating? Should you continue speaking to show that you are correct? Or would you be quiet to try to keep the peace? So, what is really more important to you, being correct or keeping the peace? Which one do you rather have? Are you willing for everything to be destroyed to be proven correct? If you are willing to have that be done, then something is wrong with you. In marriage, it is not so much about being proven correct. What you should try to do, if possible, is try to keep the peace. So if keeping the peace means you may have to be quiet much of the time, so be it. And you may tell me, Uncle Kev, that is not fair. I have the right to express myself. I have the right to say the way I feel and whatever else like that. Are you sure? Okay, you do have the right to express yourself. But at what cost? Like, how much are you willing to pay in order to express yourself? I believe in some cases it is not even worth it. Why can't you just be quiet and keep the peace? Why can't you go down on your knees and pray to God and fix your marriage? If I am speaking and the other person isn't really listening, if that other person is speaking and I am not really listening, what do you believe is going to happen? Probably chaos. You say you want your marriage to be peaceful, but you are doing things to increase chaos. You may say it is the other person's fault, and it may be, but continuing to argue back, you are a partaker in the chaos. Listen now, marriage is not so much about fairness. Marriage is not so much about equality, as in everything should be 50-50. No, marriage is not all about happiness. Hey, marriage is not all about having happy days day in and day out. Marriage is a sacred thing. I believe it was made by God. Even if you don't really like the person that you are married with, you should take marriage seriously because it is something very serious. Like, stop treating marriage as if it is like a piece of candy, like a piece of paper that fell on the ground and you kicked it out of your way. Stop treating it as it is insignificant. It is not. Some people may say they want a perfect marriage. And let me ask you this, are you willing to work for it? And you may tell me, Kevin, I have tried to fix things in my marriage, but the other person is not really being cooperative, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I understand what you are saying. But understand this, we are in a spiritual war. So I believe demons are trying to break up marriages. So if you have a very immature thinking that marriage should always be happy, marriage should always be pleasing, I believe you may fail. There may be some days where you will be happy in a marriage, but it doesn't mean every day will be that way. In a sense, you have to take the good with the bad. If you believe your marriage is going so badly, you need to go to God with it. You need to read the Bible. You need to pray. You need to fast. Fasting is important. You need to fight against the demonic forces that are against your marriage. Because what is really, fighting with your spouse, like, what is that really doing? Like, how is that really helping? Or is it making things worse? And I believe it is making things worse. Yes, I believe communication is key, but depending on your situation, you may not be able to say too much because your spouse, in one way or the other, may see your words as like a threat. They may not be all the way correct in their head, if you know what I mean. You may not be all the way correct in the head also. This is one of the reasons why it is good to come to God about your marriage problems and have Him reveal to you what is going on and how to fix it. I think that is a better option than arguing constantly with your spouse. Let me stop here. May God bless us.